Hello everyone and welcome to a laptop that I would absolutely roast if it hadn't confused me so much that I just broke into laughter. This is the Toshiba Satellite P205 S8802, which is a very elegant name that just rolls off the tongue. I bought this because it's huge and it's, it looks like a gaming laptop. So I was kind of interested in seeing what Toshiba's high-end had to offer. After all, it says on the sticker here, it's got a Turion 64X2 processor and ATI graphics. So, I mean, it couldn't be bad, right? I also saw these speakers, and in the eBay listing picture, I thought they looked really good. And on the behind, as I almost said, it looked like we had two cooling fans, and a subwoofer. And, well, I was pretty impressed, so I went ahead and bought it. Imagine my surprise. When it arrived, I found out that it didn't have discrete graphics. One of these fans is fake and is blocked off with plastic on the inside, as is the subwoofer. And one of these hard drive bays is completely empty and you can't put anything in there. So I'm gonna say that this almost gaming laptop was almost good. But let's just take a closer look. So I mentioned that one of these hard drive caddies had nothing in it, and that's true. This one, obviously, it works. There's a drive in there. But the other, I was really interested in having a laptop with two hard drive caddies, but the other, there's nothing there. There's just a modem, and there's pads, solder pads for a SATA connector, but there isn't one there. So actually, I'm gonna take that modem out because I don't need a 56K, and it'll be funnier if I leave it completely empty. So it's very odd, very, very odd. It appears that Toshiba took the chassis of a high-end laptop, don't need that, they took the chassis of a high-end laptop and just stuffed a mid-range model in there and just called it a day without retooling the chassis or doing anything really. So let's get this all bolted back together. And then I'll show you what I mean once we get into an operating system, because this is one wonky guy for sure. Of course, first though, we have to do the obligatory ports around the side tour. So here's your charger, standard Toshiba. There is your VGA port, big heatsink, and I'll talk about that later. 10100 LAN, bleh. Got two USB 2 ports. A nice door on the express card slot, PCMCIA, so it can get lost. Then you have S-Video, Firewire 400, and on the front here, wireless on-off switch, and 4 audio in-out jacks. So there is line out, mic in, another line out, and then headphones. So it's quite an odd assortment. Then you also have a rotary encoder, I believe that's what it's called, for adjusting the audio levels. I thought it was a normal potentiometer, so I just spun it for a while, and then I realized it doesn't stop. So although it's a wheel, it controls the volume within the operating system, and I think it's pretty cool. It's pretty quick to adjust volume, and it's also pretty precise, unlike HP's touch controls. Got an SD card reader, way more USB. That's a good thing about this laptop. You've got 4 more USB, modem, and then a DVD rewritable drive. Well, let's go ahead and open it up, and let's see. Wait for it. Come on, do the thing. Are you gonna do it? Yes, there we go. So the satellite logo lights up. I think it's really cool. Yes, it's a gimmick, but did I fall for it? Yes. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm running Windows 7 here because this uses the ATI 1200 integrated graphics, which absolutely do not play nice with Windows 10. Completely unusable on anything above Windows 7 if you try to do any sort of 3D application. Now the screen does have a couple scratches and dead pixels, but it shouldn't be too much of a problem just for our demos. Before anything else, I just want to kind of show you what the keyboard sounds like. So it is aggressively clacky. It sounds like water balloons hitting concrete. It is one of the loudest, like most ear-piercing laptop keyboards I've ever heard. It doesn't feel bad. It's just pretty irritating to listen to. It also really doesn't have that far of a travel. And the hollow emptiness of this laptop, because, again, this is a gaming laptop that they just shoved a shitty one into, it kind of amplifies the noise. But, speaking of noise, let's test these wonderful speakers. And this is the absolute biggest disappointment of this laptop. And you're going to see why in a second. Now, these speakers are fantastic if the music you like to listen to lies solely in the dynamic range of a glass bottle shattering. That said, you get no mid-range, no bass. It's just the tiniest garbage you've ever heard. Listen to this. So it does that well. This is also their max volume. I can comfortably talk over them with my normal inside voice. I will say, although the speakers themselves are bad, these media controls here are very convenient. They didn't go for any gimmicks. There's no stupid touch sliders that don't work. It's just a button. So, unfortunately, the speakers aren't that great. Another funny thing about the keyboard, there's another wireless switch on the keyboard that can also be used in addition to the one on the front, but the one on the front overrides the software one on the keyboard, so actually it doesn't matter at all. But anyway, what we came here for, it's in the chassis of a gaming laptop, but can it gaming? Well, we're gonna see. Well, here's my first complaint. It's a massive screen. It's 17 inches, but it's 1440 by 900. That looks great on like a 14-inch laptop. But when you make a screen that huge on a lower resolution, like 1440 by 900, well, it just doesn't look all that good. The screen itself, though, is pretty bright and clear, so I will give it that. Now, something you'll notice, or rather not notice while we're gaming, is these Turion CPUs aren't known to be the most power efficient, yet this laptop is the quietest Turion laptop I have. That's because it has this huge fan and huge vent, being of a gaming laptop heritage. Well, it's built for a bigger CPU, this cooling setup, than is currently in use. So that means it runs very cool, very quiet, and big thumbs up. Well, remember what I said about the ATI card not working very well on Windows 10? Well, I just got on a phone call and put the computer to sleep, and I came back to find that. But anyway, let's do some Unreal. Let's go for, whoops, that's not the right button. I was going to say let's go for an Onslaught map, because those are kind of equally demanding on CPU and graphics, because there's a lot going on. Here we go. Okay, so Arctic Stronghold. I forget how much video memory this card has, so I'm actually gonna check that really quickly while the map is loading. I don't think it's very much. I think maybe 128? Yes, 128 megabytes. Now, there is a bit of a complication with this laptop. The A key does not work, and that just so happens to be a pretty damn useful key in video games. So, I've just mapped the A key to the Q key with a program, with programs that I use, I'm just mapping the A key to the Q key. So, you know, because I use A a lot more. But as you can see, it's running really damn well. I absolutely did not give this Radeon card the chance that it should have gotten with drivers, because the first time I tested this, I tested it on Windows 10. It was pathetic, couldn't even run Unreal Tournament 99, but, well, here it is doing just fine on Unreal Tournament 2004. So, with a fair retest of this card, I dare say it's pretty damn nice. I'd say this is better than Intel GMA, because Intel GMA performs about like this at 1280 by 800, so being able to do this at 1440 by 900 is pretty nice. I mean, you're not going to get any remarkable performance that's remotely close to, like, a discrete graphics card of any reasonable power, but, you know, it handles alright. It does pretty good for an integrated graphics chip of the era, as you're seeing here. I promise I'm typically better at the game. I'm just less good when the speakers are low and I'm talking. But, yeah, skill issue. We're going to go ahead and go for Ice Tomb, the map that just melts GPUs, just absolutely cooks them, just roasts them. Weird glitch. Weird glitch! Oh my god, that is amazing. So these ATI chips, I love them because they suck. They're fucking horrible. The graphics drivers for these older integrated graphics are very poor. I have a video from a while ago called ATI Graphics Strikes Again, spelled GRAFUX, of Unreal Tournament 99 going absolutely mental on the, there it is, again, on the older Radeon Express 200M. So ATI's integrated graphics were pretty damn bad until they started using the Radeon HD chips. Oh my god, this bug is amazing. That's incredible. I love that so much. But yeah, driver bad. The whole, like, ATI's drivers suck, it's not just a joke. I mean, they really were horrible for a long time, leading to things like that happening. This is certainly better than than trying to install the drivers on Windows 10, and you can't even get Unreal Tournament 99 to run. I dare say that this is pretty good, by the way. This is pretty remarkable. Except for the bug. Well, no, actually the bug is significantly adding to the experience. Like, it's not making the game better in terms of gameplay, it's just making it more funny. But yeah, it's performing quite well, and honestly, it's not that bad of a laptop. I know I laughed at it because it's kind of a lower end system in a gaming laptop chassis, but at the end of the day, I'm still going to use this for video games. I mean, I'm not going to discriminate, and since it seems to perform well enough for what the hardware is, I'll accept it. Now, again, as I mentioned earlier, the fan is remarkably quiet. Remarkably quiet, and that's quite a nice little feature. And the heatsink is so huge, I haven't even repasted this thing. I haven't even taken it apart yet. But the heatsink is so big that I don't even, have to. It's cooling the inefficient Turion processor and the chipset quite well. So, no screaming fans, super loud laptop, any of that. So honestly, it's a pretty pleasant experience. you'd get better from like a Latitude E4200. Latitude E6400, which has the same 1440 by 900 resolution, but in a more compact 14-inch form factor, and it has the GeForce 9300 graphics. You'd get a slightly better experience from that. Or rather, it has the Quadro NVS equivalent of the 9300. But anyway, I feel like that's enough Ice Tomb. We've iced enough in this tomb, and that's where I'm going to wrap up this video. So thank you everyone so much for watching. I hope this was interesting. I hope this was a cool little look at a very odd laptop that, while a little less than expected, isn't entirely disappointing. But that's going to wrap it up for this video. So thank you everyone so much for watching.